Hey, everybody. Before we get started, this episode was pre recorded on November 18th. With that in mind, enjoy the episode. From Rixie, this is Butter. I'm Nathan Rivas. The show about chefs and the impact food has had on their lives, their businesses, and the community. Today's conversation with Mayoli Melchor, Sergio Hernandez, and Diana Escalante of La Chiapaneca food truck in Culpeper, Virginia. Starting a business can be challenging, particularly without support. Some of the most successful starting restaurants have a whole family behind them. That brings us to the interview today. A humble food truck parked near a tobacco shop in Culpeper, Virginia. La Chiapaneca brings Mayoli and her family, which includes her husband Sergio and her daughter Diana, together to provide a consistent and constantly improving street taco experience to an area severely lacking in quality Mexican food. I sat down with Mayoli and Sergio to get some context on this labor of love. During the interview, Mayoli and Sergio had their child with them, so there might be some interesting kid sounds in the background.
My name is Sergio Hernandez, and we own a food truck here in Culpeper. The name is La Chiapaneca, and this here is my wife.
So my name is Mayoli Melchor, and the food truck for the Chiapaneca.
My name is Diana Escalante, and I am the daughter of Mayoli Melchor, the owner of La Chiapaneca here in Culpeper.
What was food like in your household growing up?
Mi papá tenía una taquería en México y ahí empezamos
Her dad used to
a vender tacos.
own a taco stand in Mexico, and they would sell tacos and tortas. So it was a little family business. Since they were younger, they were in the business.
And that was the whole time you were growing up?
Sí, desde que yo tengo uso de razón vendíamos tacos, tortas y todo eso.
Yes, and she can remember they've been selling tacos and tortas, and that was the family business.
That's awesome. You grew up in the food industry essentially, so like making the leap from you didn't really make a leap from home cooking into professional cooking. You were wholly born into the professional cooking world.
Sí, ya era parte de eso todo. A mi mamá, mi papá, cuando ellos se casaron, ellos compraron un carrito para vender tacos y ahí empezaron.
When her mom and her dad got married, they bought the taco stand, and so it's been in the family for a while. Her uncles and other family members also sell food, so different types of tacos down in Mexico. So it's been in the family for a while.
Wow. Was home cooking different for you guys, or did you eat a lot at home? Considering there was a taco stand, you're producing food all the time. Was there a lot of home cooking going on at that time?
Sí, mi mamá siempre cocinaba en la casa. A veces hacíamos quesadillas o las sincronizadas, que las que llevan tortillas.
Yeah, her mom did cook at home. She would make quesadillas and sincronizadas, which is a flour tortilla with meat and cheese. And they also got a chance to taste other people's food, like around their town. So you get an idea of how to cook it at home for yourself.
What was the food like in the region of Mexico that you grew up in?
Ahí nosotros, la gente acostumbra a hacer garnachas, tostadas, enchiladas. La gente vende tacos, tamales.
She just named a few different types of food, and she said her grandmother used to make mole, so it's a pretty big variety of food where she's from. I guess Mexico and has a lot of food.
Mexico's food culture it's huge, and there's definitely distinct cultures and stuff.
Yes.
I know about Yucatan and Baja food, and that's really all I've been exposed to. So is the part of Mexico you came from is the further south, right?
Yes.
So was the food that was there indicative of what was available at that time in that area?
Sí, es diferente que en México, pero como toda la gente de eso vive, la gente se dedica a hacer tamales, todo eso, venden atoles en la mañana, el atol de elote, el atol de granillo.
People got used to selling food. I mean, they sell tamales and a lot of other foods. The coast is nearby, so they get fish from the ocean, and they prep it and sell it. So they do sell whatever's available, and they just add the spice to it, the unique spice they have. I mean, when I married my wife, it was completely different from what I used to eat at the house with my mother. She's also Mexican, but the food was completely different. So I guess because it's a different region, then different flavor.
What was your relationship with food growing up?
I was raised here in the States. I was actually born in Houston. Both my parents are from Mexico. My mother did cook whenever she got a chance. She was always working. She wasn't really home all the time. So she would cook really quick and just leave it there on the stove for us to eat. I mean, I enjoyed her food too. It's just when I married my wife, the variety was larger. I mean, it was more different stuff than what I was raised with.
You eventually started helping your parents out at the taco stand that you had. Is that correct?
Sí, nosotros desde que estábamos chiquitos, como a los 9 años ya íbamos a limpiar los platos, a partir repollo, cebolla, a despachar refrescos. O sea, nosotros siempre estábamos.
Since she was 9, she remembers she used to go there and help chopping everything up and prepping everything. So there was other businesses there, but she remembers them. They were always there working. Wednesday was their only day off. So yeah, pretty much almost every day they would help her out.
Now, was Wednesday a slow day for you guys? Because Mondays are kind of the slow day in Culpeper.
No, o sea, los miércoles siempre ellos descansaban porque mi papá que nos íbamos a la playa, que íbamos a visitar a sus familiares.
Yeah, it was just a day off because they were used to go to the beach and visit other family members. So it's just, just a day off. Yeah, just a break.
Day to recharge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Now, how long did you help your family out with their business?
Pues teníamos como 9 años hasta como a los 15 años. Ya, pues todos se fueron. O sea, mi papá se fue, entonces.
Since she was 9 to like 15, and just everybody went their separate ways. And then she got married, and she used to sell tortas until like she was 15, and then everything just stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so pretty much the family split up.
Okay.
Yeah.
After cutting her teeth working with her parents at the taco stand and running a torta business of her own, Mayoli understood the hard work it takes to get a business off the ground. Now, you guys have been in Culpeper for 11 years now?
I think, como 11 años tenemos aquí, mi amor.
14.
Oh, 14.
14 years, okay. What did you do when you moved to Culpeper? Because the truck has been open for how long now? 3 years?
Yeah, it's going to be 3 years. Well, I was always in construction. Nomás está preguntando qué era lo que hacíamos cuando nos movimos para acá, para Culpeper.
Yeah, pues estuve en construcción y yo limpiando casas.
Yeah, so I was in construction and she would clean houses. Just different. from food, nothing too connected to food. She did start working at a few restaurants around town. Um, I mean, back and forth, just trying to make a living, working in different jobs.
Mayoli had worked as a maid, as well as doing some restaurant work in Culpeper. She had presented the idea of a food truck to some of the owners of these restaurants, and they told her it was a bad idea. So she decided to do it herself and bring her idea to fruition. So whose idea was it to start the food truck? I know your mother had the general idea, but who pushed it forward? Was it entirely your mom?
Entirely her. Yeah, she's been working in restaurants here in Culpeper for the longest, and she saw them fail. So she saw them fail, and it was just various reasons. And she would always tell them, "Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we do a food truck?" And they would always say, "No, that wouldn't work. That here in Culpeper that's like this. Culpeper is not the place to do that." They would just shut her down all the time. So, yeah, she basically pushed my stepdad into saving money. They both saved up money, and once they had a little bit to start with, that's how we got the red small trailer.
Que pues aquí no había comida buena, que fuéramos a comer tacos. Siempre íbamos a Manazas, a la jarochita a comer. Entonces, pues no.
It was hard to find good Mexican food here in Culpeper. And she was always saying that, I mean, we should have a place where they have good Mexican food, because we have to go down to Manassas and eat tacos in Manassas. And so she always wanted just a place to have good food here in Culpeper, good Mexican food. The places that were here before is just, I don't know what the right word is, just wasn't up to her standards, our standards. So.
Lackluster.
Yeah.
Having worked with her parents at the taco stand, as well as starting her torta business, Mayoli had high standards for Mexican food, and many of the vendors in Culpeper just weren't up to snuff. Just to provide some context, La Chiapaneca started in a lot that was next to a 7-Eleven. They have since moved to a lot that's next to a tobacco shop.
Right from the start, I was the one who helped get all the permits and, been through the ups and downs of having the food truck. It's definitely been we've been winging it, basically. We had no idea what this was like.
So you dealt with a lot of the government logistics of getting everything set up.
Yeah, everything from the IRS. I had to do this basically on my own. I mean, it's been a great learning experience. I feel like I could even start a business someday.
How was it starting out? Because I know that area, that lot, other food trucks had been there. Burnt Ends was there for a period of time. They were there right before you guys started showing up.
She actually was the one that wanted to park by that 7-Eleven at the roundabout by McDonald's. So we went and asked them, and so that's pretty much where we started. And it got pretty busy, so the parking lot there was just to get packed.
Yeah, we had to ask the people. There was a shop right there. I forgot what it's called, but there was a shop right there, and we had to talk to them to letting us park right there, some days and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's how we started it.
And they charged you money for that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was $25 a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just, if you think about it monthly, it was a bit expensive.
Yeah, it was a lot of rent and rent. And there was always arguments with the landlord, but it was pretty much our customers that were getting in the way of their business, because the lot was just not that big, and pretty much all the cars that were parked there were for us, so it was kind of hard on them. So that's pretty much what happened, where it just got to the point where the landlord said we had to leave, and we were pretty much interfering with their business.
Too popular for the spot.
Yeah, so my wife was the one that told me about this spot here, that there was land there, and So I called the owner and he agreed. He's like, yeah, you can come over here. And I asked him when. He said, whenever you want. So the next day, we pulled up to that lot and started working, started selling food. And she told me that she always she wanted tables for people to sit and eat, enjoy their food. So I started and made myself a couple tables and set them there, and people started showing up.
Sergio's background in construction and fabrication allowed them to build out this lot, which was just grass, into something more inviting. With picnic tables and coverings, it looks like a space that you'd actually want to go and hang out at.
So, there's pictures when we showed up. It was nothing but grass, a small gravel road. And we made a couple of tables, and then we needed more. And we added gravel. And then we bought umbrellas, and they started flying off. So we decided to build a roof on our picnic tables, um, and just kept on building more and more. And it was dark at night, so we decided to add lights, and it's just little by little just kept improving it.
After you left home, did you have any exposure to professional cooking, or was it marrying your wife as your first?
When I left the house, I was actually in construction. I was a construction worker, and that's where I met her. So before we even started the business, I had no relationship with food. I couldn't cook anything. So when I got together with her, then that's where I started to learn a little bit. Yeah, but I was in construction, so it's completely different from being a food vendor.
Do you help out pretty frequently now?
So when we started, she was like prepping everything, and I was just sitting there, just looking at her. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could help. So I started asking her, I'm like, is there any way I can help? And she started teaching me how to marinate the meats, how to cut them and everything. And I just learned from her. So, she has her recipes and everything. She just taught me how to do everything. And now, I take care of all the meats. I slice them, I marinate everything, and she takes care of all the sauces and other things.
I definitely try to give my stepdad a lot of feedback because he's the one who marinates the food. If somebody says something, I make sure it goes back to him all the time because you have to take, suggestions as well. You can't just say, oh no, my food is good and that's it. You have to be able to take a step back and really look at the situation and assess it and fix it.
I did learn a lot. I'm actually amazed how much I learned with what she taught me. She made it so easy.
There's something extremely gratifying about learning that process, and especially teaching somebody too. Did the community accept you immediately, or did it take a little bit of time?
No, I think the Hispanic community embraced us immediately, Americans were not, they were like, what is this? What is that? Especially because our menu didn't have pictures or anything. So they were a bit hesitant. They would ask a lot of questions, So therefore we came up with a menu with pictures and everything. So they make it a little bit easier on them. Yeah, but the Hispanic community, they definitely embraced us like right away because there wasn't many restaurants that were putting out good food out there. No offense to anybody, but a lot of restaurants don't make their own tortillas. So I think that makes a difference. I honestly do think so.
You mentioned before we started recording, you went to Florida to purchase the truck.
I went down to Florida for our second trailer. So our first one was the small red one. My wife had been asking me to buy a food truck. So I was always looking around, and all I found was a small 7x10, which is the red one we have. It's a small unit. I showed it to her, and we just decided to buy it just to start.
Our biggest issue was the space. it was very hard to just store everything, and we would constantly running out of things. We were constantly in the store. It was really hard. This bigger unit, we have more fridge, we have a freezer, and it's way easier.
We had to change a few things to be able to work out of it and sell what we were gonna sell. I mean, it wasn't easy, but they started working and they made it work. It's just it had to happen, so she made it happen pretty much.
Did you guys outfit it yourself, or did it come outfitted?
It was made for like sandwiches, so we had to buy a new. It came with the refrigerator, and we had to buy the prep unit. But yeah, we had to take out a few things and add a few other that we needed it for inspection and what we wanted to sell.
I spoke to your son when you first started about you had issues with wastewater removal. The county wanted you to have some sort of wastewater removal system.
That was our main issue when we started, because you need a place where to dump your gray water, your wastewater. And we went around and asked all the restaurants in town if they could sign the paper for us, and nobody wanted to do it.
Basically, you have to have a commissary. Culpeper is so small, so you have to ask like a restaurant to be your commissary. They have to sign everything for you. So there was a lot of restaurants that were new to food trucks here, so they were not willing to have that responsibility to like kind of help you out, because they don't know, so you're kind of going into their business and kind of stepping in there. So yeah, it's a bit hard.
Was that the most difficult part of starting up, dealing with the health department?
Yeah, that was the most difficult part. They're used to having food trucks like be seasonal, not be here 24/7. How we are, we're kind of like we're mobile, but we're not really mobile, So it's hard.
I have no idea why. It's just nobody wanted to sign our paper. So we went back and forth, and they said that we had to go dump it at a trailer park, at a RV park. And so I went down to the RV park. They signed our paper, and that's how we started.
What's the meaning behind the name?
So basically, like Chiapaneca is a woman from the state of Chiapas. Yeah, and the name is hard to pronounce and it's long. It's not catchy, but I feel like it's original.
It is, and the complication of your name hasn't hindered you at all.
Yeah.
That basically, you guys were. Anytime I talk to somebody that can't pronounce it, they're like, "I go to the taco truck over by Target."
Yeah, or like the white food truck. That's it. But it's okay.
Now, you guys grew pretty quickly. So your first location, you had to move because you had too many cars there.
Yes.
And even now, what's happened over the course of 3 years is it's jaw-dropping. Like, if you saw what the place looked like on day one where you're at now and what it looks like now, it is night and day. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's quite different. I mean, we've grown. We feel like we've grown. So has the competition. I mean, there's other food trucks in Culpeper, and we were back then. I mean, it was only a couple Mexican food trucks, but I mean, we just keep moving forward, just trying to advertise. I do believe that we have good food. I love our food. We try to keep everything fresh and we make it with love. We care. I mean, if we're not gonna put anything out there that we wouldn't eat, so I know we have a good product, and I love it.
It was wild watching it grow into that. I mean, you guys won Best Food Truck in Culpeper, right, for 2020?
Yes, we did, and we're so happy about it. We're proud. But it's definitely been crazy. It's just crazy that, like I said, we started in such a small food truck, and that was definitely the struggle, and we quickly outgrew that. The response from everybody has been amazing from day one, and we're just so thankful for everybody in Culpeper who has supported us, and we're also thankful for the people who've been critical of our food, because it's made us kind of to step it up, not get too comfortable neither. You know, if something goes wrong, we try to step it up, try to improve the recipe, improve the quality. So it's been nice.
Are you happy within your role in the business? So you did a lot to help them get started up.
Yeah.
And you've been growing with them. Do you enjoy this?
I do enjoy this. It's crazy to say it, but, you know, I do. There's a lot of disagreements here and there with my family because, you know, it's hard to work with your family. I'm glad to kind of help them relieve the stress of the business. And I'm the type of person who loves to clean and have things organized. And so I think this role within the business is very fitting to me.
Well, somebody with a clean and meticulous personality is absolutely invaluable to a food business like that. So,
yeah, it's annoying for employees, but I mean that's what you need. You need like a kind of like a second owner to be there 24/7. Even though I'm not the owner, you know, but you know I take it seriously.
You have an emotional connection to the business.
Yeah. If something goes wrong, you know, I feel it.
How does it feel to see your mother's dream become a success?
It's very inspiring, to be honest. Like, I'm so proud of her. I'm so glad that, you know, because of this business, they're actually purchasing a home soon. So I'm very happy for her.
Do you guys have any big plans to move beyond the food truck?
Pues sí, me gustaría un restaurante para que la gente prueba pues la comida que yo sé hacer, pues, porque no es todo lo que tenemos ahí en el menú. No lo podemos meter por...
The plan is to eventually open up a restaurant because there's so much variety of food that we still have. I mean, she has like a lot of food that we can offer. It's just that the space on the trailer is so limited that the county the health department won't let us sell everything we want to sell there. And it's also space. I mean, it's so small, you can only cook so many things. But yeah, she wants to open up a restaurant and let everybody taste like her recipes. I mean, there's so many other foods we can offer that no other places in town have them.
My dream, and I think it's my mom's too, low key. I think she wants to have a restaurant. You know, yeah, she wants to have a restaurant, and I think it would like make things so much easier, or at least build a commissary kitchen for us. Like that would just be so helpful. And we do want to expand. We actually have a lot of opportunities to expand, to have a second food truck. So I think most likely that's going to be the outcome, have a second food truck somewhere here around Culpeper, maybe Orange. I think that's the path that we're going right now.
Eventually, that's the plan. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Running a family business sometimes means all hands on deck. I didn't start a family business, and I don't know how many times my family came to help me out when I was in a bind. I think it would be difficult to find a family more dedicated than the group running La Chiapaneca. Everything Mayoli has done in her life has led up to this, and it's just a matter of time till we see something even greater from La Chiapaneca. Butter is a production of Rixie. Produced, edited, and mixed by myself, Tanner, and Mason Carlton. Special thanks to my parents for being supportive of me through this whole process. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review and rate the show. It really helps out.